Hey everybody, welcome back to another class on Verbling. Good to see you guys. Today we're doing a class about the World Cup. So I think many of you guys are thinking about that right now. We're going to talk about how your country is related to it, and we're going to learn the difference between wish and hope. So hopefully we find that interesting and you guys learn some new words and expressions. Hi David, welcome to the class. How are you? Oh, you're really quiet, David. I can barely hear you.
Okay, better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm eating my microphone, literally.
Oh, okay. Please don't eat your microphone.
I need a nap. I need a nap. So I'm
Mm.
tired. I want to sleep. So
Well, thanks for joining the class even though you're tired today.
you're welcome.
Mm. Nice to have you. And Andrew, welcome to the class. Good to see you again.
Hello, Abby. Good to see you too.
Hello, hello. Nice to have you back, Andrew. Hi, Amp.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm okay. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again. Ali, are you there?
Yes, sure.
Ali, how are you?
I'm fine, Abby. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Ala, welcome.
Thank you, teacher. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks for asking. So your name, Ala. How do I say it? Am I saying it properly? Or is
Allah.
it it's Ala?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was saying it correctly. And Francisco, welcome back to the oh, Eduardo, welcome back to the class.
Back?
Back.
No, since yesterday, but yes, thank you very much.
Well, this is my first class today, so welcome back.
Well,
Okay.
Welcome back to my living room. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
So,
you.
who is watching the World Cup? What? Who is
Yeah, of
watching the
course.
World Cup? Tell us about us, Ala. What are you watching? What have you noticed?
Yeah, I've been watching the World Cup. My favorite team is Germany. I watch especially the Dutch team. Yeah, and it's interesting. This cup is rich of goals, and they are playing pretty well. So yes, it's interesting.
So you're interested in watching it.
Yeah, yeah, of course, especially my favorite team.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that they're doing well. That always makes it fun to watch when your team is successful or maybe doing a good job. But you guys never
Yeah.
said anything. I got my Verbling t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
When I arrived in Canada, it was here. So I was quite excited about that. Amp, what about you? What do you think about the World Cup? I know before you said it's not really your thing, but what have you noticed that's happening in your city?
Well, people becomes crazy today because it's our match with France. Um, Even the public institution are going to work just until half an hour before the match starts.
Okay.
Yeah, that is our last opportunity. So fingers crossed.
Perfect. Very cool. Good answer, Amp. It's truth. You never really know what's going to happen. Andre, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can't send you a t-shirt. I've been working for Verbling for over a year, and I finally got mine. I won't send it to you.
But I have been a student in Irving for about a year, so
So you
I
should
have
phone
I have a
Verbling
right.
and tell
Okay.
them. Andre, what about you? How has your city or your family or your group of friends, how have they responded to the World Cup? Is it something that interests them?
Yeah, especially my father and brother. But I maybe I'm not so interested, and I don't have time to watch, especially in the nighttime, because you know it's a time difference between Brazil and Russia.
Right.
So many great games in the nighttime, about 2 or 3 a.m. So, but I watch Russian team when our team plays. So, but it's unfortunately they play very bad.
They're playing bad?
Yeah, because they played, I think, Spare, right? When you
Spare?
have the same, for example, 1-1, or what do we call it?
Oh, a tie? A tie?
Yeah, a tie. They played the first match they played a tie, but the second match with the Belgium they lost. So it wasn't good.
That's disappointing. Sorry to hear that, Andriy.
It's okay. We're used to it.
That's like me talking about Vancouver, the hockey team. We're used to them losing, so we don't get too excited.
Yeah.
David, I know you're watching soccer or football. Tell us about what's happening in your city or your group of friends.
Argentina 3, Nigeria 2. Exactly now. When you were telling my name, Argentina scored the third goal. So it's a very exciting match, and even for me it's fair because Argentina is one of the most favorite or one of the favorite teams to win this championship. So one eye is on Berlin and the other eye is on my TV.
So if you don't respond, we can assume that it's because you're into the game.
No, probably you can listen suddenly goal or something like that. Yeah, because even my laptop is too old, and when I mute, I need a lot of time to unmute. So I prefer to have my microphone unmute always and quiet in a quiet room. So maybe I can scream suddenly, penalty or corner or what opportunity. But no, I promise I'll be quiet.
Okay. Well, that's okay. It'll add to the spirit of our lesson on sports. So it'll be okay.
Okay.
What about you, Eduardo? Tell us about what's happening. I mean, I think it was. Did you tell me yesterday that you're not really? It's not your cup of tea?
I like soccer, football, but we are not really motivated because Spain has been the first national team eliminated for the competition. So yeah, that's it.
So it's kind of like, oh, for the rest of
Yeah, we cannot win the World Cup last 4 years ago because Spain is the champion of the competition yet.
Same.
But yes, if we don't have this motivation, who is going to be the next team, who or rival team, we don't have. I like to watch soccer, some teams, but maybe when the competition advance a little bit more. So in semifinals, the final, yeah.
Then you start to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes the beginning stages or games can be a little bit, okay, what's going to happen? But then towards the end, that's when people are excited to see who's going to win.
Yeah, it creates more attention, of course. Yeah.
And Ali, I know that soccer is not your cup of tea, but what do you notice happening? Are people in your country, your city, your family, is anyone interested in it?
Actually, I don't know what's happening outside because I am always inside at my office and at evening in your classes. I don't know what people do. Doing.
How is Turkey involved with the World Cup? Are they playing? See, that's how much I know. I have no clue. You guys are going to teach me for this lesson.
I am as you. I don't know what Turkey situation. I think Turkey couldn't join World Cup this time.
Mm-hmm.
How to say?
They didn't make it?
Turkey, yeah, eliminated in first groups, something like that.
They were eliminated in the first round.
Yeah. But people watch football too much in my country.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of men watching football except me, maybe. I am a kind of weird.
Well, that's okay. It's I don't watch it either, but I'm kind of like what Eduardo said. When things start getting to the end, then I start caring because it's a world event and you know that people all around the globe are watching it and interested, so it's kind of fun to be a part of that, right? Any comments or questions about, maybe you guys want to make a comment about this topic before we get into our lesson?
Yeah, actually, the World Cup is a 2 years competition. As Ali said, FIFA divides the world in, I don't remember exactly, 6 or 7 areas: North America, Canada, United States, Mexico, Caribbean island, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia and New Zealand plays in Asia group. So they are watching, they are playing during 1 year and a half, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And in Brazil, they are all playing the final round. So actually, the competition is a 2 years competition.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yes, the point is in Brazil, for example, there are only the 36. I don't know. I think there are 36 best teams all over these groups. Perhaps the 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know exactly the number, but in each group, 4 teams, for example, are qualified to this final round.
Oh, okay.
So actually, for example, Canada was eliminated in this previous round.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had no idea, though. Just shows how much I care, right? Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say that it's a qualifying round, as he said. It's played over 1 year and a half. It's qualifying round. So these who are in the Brazil now, they who are qualified from the first stage. So this is the group stage, where there are 32 teams divided in 8 groups, each group of 4, and the first and the second will qualify to the knockout phase.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ella. That's really good to know. It's good for me to learn these things so that I can understand what's happening with everybody else, right?
Expert in the class.
Pardon?
I said someone expert in the class about football. Too much knowledge.
Yeah. Maybe Ella should teach the class for us. Ella, do you want to?
Yeah.
Actually, I like playing soccer much more than watching on TV. But I like also to watch. Yeah.
That's like me in sports. I'd rather play and enjoy it or watch it live. If watching it live for me is a lot more exciting than watching it on TV.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't watch a recorded game.
No?
Once it's not live, it's not live, I can't watch it.
It's not quite the same, is it? Good job. Excellent warm-up. I have no idea, you guys, about the t-shirts. I just know that when I signed up with Verbling, They sent me a t-shirt, but as you know, I have been living in other countries. So they sent it to Canada, and when I got to Canada, I finally got my t-shirt. Maybe they're just for teachers. Sorry. So today's lesson, hosting the world. Amp, do you want to read the quotation here from Simon Cooper, the sports journalist?
Okay. The things you need for a soccer tournament are almost never the things you need for your daily life.
Okay, what do you think that means?
That the soccer tournament is not so important like the things that you need for surviving.
Okay, absolutely, it could mean that. Does anyone else see anything else that would maybe give them a different interpretation?
Yes, maybe it's a clue, or they want to say that it's not important as a daily life need as the what's going on now in Brazil. There is maybe a dilemma about spending on sport rather than spending on daily life aspects. It's more important than spending a lot of money on tournaments like World Cup. There is two teams here now, one against the World Cup, and one see that no, the World Cup will bring some benefits for the country.
Ala, fantastic. Yeah, very good. You and Amp both have points of view that could definitely be true. I think you guys are on the right page for sure. So let's go ahead with our warm-up. Andrew, why don't you answer the first question for me? Maybe you can read it for us and then tell me what you think.
Yeah, do host nations usually make a profit after a mega sporting event? I think it depends. Yeah, I think sometimes there are many fans coming to the World Cup or some events, and they spend so much money there. I think yes, usually they do.
Okay. Anyone else have an opinion or something that they've heard on the news?
I completely disagree.
Uh-oh.
Yes. No, I know. I'm not sure, but I know in Olympic Games in Montreal 1976, I'm not sure if it was in Montreal. I think so. It was so expensive that people from Canadian people have had to pay during 40 years special tasks to pay all the stadiums, all the infrastructure, to pay the costs of the organization of the Olympic Games. Another example is Greece. Greece organized the 2004 Olympic Games, and now it's a country completely broken. And I remember especially Montreal 1976, because Madrid, the capital of Spain, is always trying to be an Olympic city, and people in Spain don't want it because we know it's very expensive.
Okay, that's true. I think something happened similar when the Olympic Games came to Vancouver. It ended up costing the city a lot of money, so more than it profited for sure. Good, excellent. Okay, let's go to the second question. Eduardo, do you want to read number 2 for us and give us your answer?
Okay. What are some of the major costs involved with hosting the Olympic Games or the World Cup? Well, of course, the major cost is all the big structures like stadiums and all the infrastructure. Also, we need to move a big amount of people all over different cities, so you have to add new roads, transport, a lot of different things to in order to success with the with the games, Olympic Games. For example, I remember in Barcelona, 1992, they did it really well, and they make all the a kind of in a hill, a kind of big infrastructure with all the different stadiums and places, and it was easy to go there. I've been there when the Olympic Games. I was a child, of course, and yes, I think it's the infrastructure. So the biggest stadiums, the major constructions. Yeah.
Excellent. Good. Did anyone else have a different opinion about that? Maybe you've heard about something else that costs a lot of money when you host a World Cup or Olympic Games? Eduardo's pretty much pinned it with the construction that has to take place, right? And let's go to number 3. Ali, would you like to read number 3 for us and give us your answer?
Okay. Would you support a bid if your country wanted to host a major international event? Why or why not? I don't know. You know, I don't like something like that, football, soccer, or different kind of sport events. Actually, I don't care about it. It happens or not happens. I don't know.
Okay, very good. Now, maybe even if you don't like soccer or you're not into sports like me and Ali, sometimes the hype in the city can be quite exciting, right? There's maybe more events or things that are taking place. What do you guys think? Would you support to have that come to your city, or who would like to share their opinion, whether they would like it or they wouldn't like it? Who can tell me?
For example, here we have the Miss Universe. I don't remember the year, but I think it was almost 8 years ago. It's supposed to be the opportunity to show the world our country, but it was for 5 minutes. And most of the people is not interested in watching this event, so it was a waste of money for my point of view. But well, the government decided to be the hosted in this then. I suppose that it's like Eduardo said in Greece. I read that most of the stadiums are just deteriorated because they don't have money to make the maintenance. So it's a best idea, the worst idea that they could have if they don't have money and they think they are going to get any profit because of these events. They don't want anything because most of the benefits are for the particular institution, the hotels or something like that. The state is not going to get to win too much.
Mm-hmm. Good answer, Amp. Anyone else?
You ask about my city or my country?
Your country, I guess the question is, right? If your country wanted, because it wouldn't be just a city, I guess. Well, I don't really know how that works, actually, because when Vancouver hosted the Olympic Games, I don't know how involved the Canadian government was, just the British Columbian or the province that we live in. So it just depends how it works. Would that make a difference for you, Ali?
I don't want something like that in my city because my city will be very crowded, and I don't like crowded cities. People make too much noise, and maybe some people like I don't know hooligans uh, drink too much and disturb around something like that. Several times I fall into traffic after a soccer game, and it was drove me up crazy, something like that.
Mm.
I
It's
I
true.
don't like.
Things get a little bit crazy, traffic gets bad, things get crowded for sure.
Yeah,
Akka,
you can't go anywhere. You can't move in the traffic.
very true. Akka, welcome.
Yes, hello, how are you?
When did you sneak in?
Maybe couple of minutes ago.
I'm
So,
sorry. I had my screen on the document that we're looking at. Good to see you, Akka. Welcome to class.
thank you. Yeah.
Why don't you start us off, Akka? Or did you have a comment about this?
Yes, kind of, in terms of Tokyo Olympic, yeah. So people have a mixed feeling about that. I heard, the now construction workers and construction materials are concentrated on Tokyo area. So that means workers kind of earthquake devastated areas regain will be delayed. So, and Japan has a lot of problem who have to spend the budget, like social welfare, but Olympic doesn't seems like beneficial for such kind of field.
Mm-hmm.
So probably and as another issue, land price in Tokyo is getting higher. So as a side effect of Olympic, kind of maybe it's not so poor people's friendly event actually. Maybe rich people can be richer or they can get a gain, but not for ordinary people like me. That's my opinion about it. That's it.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that with us, Akka. Okay, let's get into our vocabulary. We're going to read a list of words and talk about them before we read our activity, so we've got to get moving. Number 1, let's start with Ala. Ala, can you please read it and tell me which definition you think it matches with?
Not all. It's cracked up to be. It's cracked up to be. I really don't know this expression.
Okay, well, we're going to learn it. Don't worry. We are going to learn it. Who knows? Who knows what that expression means? Not all it's cracked up to be.
Not as good as
Not
once
as good
thought.
as one thought or believed.
Exactly. There you go. Not as good as once thought or believed. So sometimes, we get really excited about something, but then after we might say, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Can you give me an example, Eduardo, of something that you were excited about, but it was not as good as you thought it was going to be?
Yes, for example, the taste of caviar.
The taste of what?
Caviar? I don't know the
Caviar?
name. Yeah, caviar. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So you could say caviar is not all it's cracked up to be. Not worth the hype. Everyone's excited about it, right?
Yeah, maybe a player in the NBA, they use this word that you said, hype. Yeah, a lot for players that doesn't become like people expected. Yeah.
Exactly. Good job, you guys. Let's go to number 2. Ali, can you read number 2 and tell me what definition you think it matches with?
Break the bank.
What do you think that means?
To go into debt or to spend too much, maybe.
Exactly. So, Give me an example of when you might say, it won't break the bank. It won't break the bank. When might you say that? Any ideas?
It won't break the bank?
Yeah, when would you say it won't?
Yeah. Maybe a small expenses won't break the bank. Go to a dinner or something like that.
Yeah, go for dinner, go for coffee, any of those things,
Yeah.
right? Nice. Does anyone else have an example of when you might use this expression?
Yeah, maybe the wife, the future wife said, the wedding, my dream wedding is it won't break the bank. No?
That means that she's saying it won't be too expensive. She might say, come on, Eduardo, it won't break the bank.
Yeah.
And you say, yes, it will.
When I go to holiday, I break the bank usually.
Sometimes you just have to do it. Sometimes, right? Good job, you guys. Wonderful. Okay, number 3, Amp. Read number 3 for us and tell us which one you think it matches with.
Spare no expense.
Spare no expense.
To spend money on every detail.
Right. So in what situation, Amp, should you spare no expense?
Eduardo's girlfriend is
Yeah. In the wedding.
no expense in the wedding.
You give her that wedding, Eduardo.
Yeah.
Me and Amp will be checking on you to make sure you give her what she wants. Absolutely, Amp. And when do you think, have you ever done that? Maybe sometimes there's cheaper options, but you've decided to choose the more expensive option because of quality or something like that. When would you do that?
Usually when the people is going to get married or when they have the they example get the degree, they want to celebrate because it works, they worked too hard for getting that. So in that situation, people spare no expenses.
Excellent. Very good. That's true. Anyone else have an example of when that might be the case?
Okay, this is a marketing strategy. I mean, for example, when you are going to buy a TV, let's imagine you have a wide variety of TVs.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the cheapest is $100, for example.
Okay.
The second cheapest, cheaper is $2,000. And you have a medium or high quality TV, $700, for example, and you have the best, the highest quality, $2,000. You say, okay, I'm going to buy the $700. They want to do that because they calculate the medium, the average price of all TVs, and they say, okay, for people, $400 is a low quality TV.
Mm-hmm.
So but probably 500 or 600 is a medium high quality TV. So we are going to establish a price for a TV, for example, in $2,000. So people are going to buy the second more expensive, $700. So they are going to spend more money than the average because there is one more expensive. So they think, okay, I'm not going buying the best. I'm going a medium high quality, but actually you are expensive. You are spending more than average.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a good point. So I think probably we would agree it's a balance, right, between having the best and the pricing as well. We've got to move on. Excellent job, David. Thank you for your comments. And Andrew, the next one, number 4, please.
Yeah, underestimate. It's to guess too low or to undervalue.
Very good. Now give me an example when you might underestimate something.
Maybe you can underestimate some movie. You thought that it could be bad. Maybe someone described you something about some book or some movies, and you watched it or read it and thought that it was great. Maybe.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Very good. David, number 5.
Venue. I don't know.
Venue.
Okay, I know it's revenue, but venue probably something similar. And income? I'm not sure.
A venue, no, it's a place.
Place, okay. It's a place to watch an organized event.
There you go. A venue, so like a stadium or something like that.
Oh.
What venues exist in your city?
In my city, one, I'm very, very small. In A Coruña, where I always say I live, there's a 35,000 citizens of capacity. So it's a medium stadium.
Okay. So you do have a big stadium in your city? I don't know if I understood you.
No, in my city I have a very, very little stadium, maybe for 1,000 people.
Okay, but that is still a venue. When there's an event there, that the building itself would be the venue of the event, okay?
Okay.
Good, thank you, David. Eduardo, number 6.
Okay, burden.
Burden. Burden. There you go.
When you have so much weight over your shoulders, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, it's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible feeling. Do you have a burden on your shoulders right now besides the wedding coming up?
No, never.
So you're fairly carefree is what you're telling me.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I'm reading, sorry. Something that it is difficult to handle.
Exactly. Very good. What do you do when you have a burden on your shoulders?
Well, I usually quiet patience guy. I'm not nervous, so just time. Try to relax, thinking that I'm always thinking in other things. I don't know, or maybe go out with my girlfriend to some place. Yeah, that's it. Try not to think about it. Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Let's continue on with our next one. And we'll go to Aka with number 7.
Okay. Remote. Far away from a main hub.
Far away from the main hub. Exactly. Very good. So tell me about something that is remote in your area. Something remote that people enjoy in your country.
Remote. Enjoyable remote place. Some remote island. Yeah. Some people go there to relax. Yeah. Remote islands. Yeah.
Remote islands are often good places to relax. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Ala, number 8.
Number 8, mandatory, required.
Perfect. Mandatory is required. Tell me about something that is mandatory in your culture.
Mandatory in culture. Okay, in religion, I can say believe in God. It's mandatory.
Okay, it's required.
Yeah.
Difficult to belong to your religion if you don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good example. Ali, number 9.
Okay. Follow through. To do what you set out to do, to complete something.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That's good. So to follow through, is that exactly? And what's an example of when you would follow through on something? When you would complete something that you had set out to do.
Usually, I follow through some works, monthly works, until the 24 every month.
Okay. And then what happens on the 24th?
It's a deadline to do some things, to count taxes or pay taxes every month.
Very good. Also with follow through, like for example, if I make you a promise and I complete the promise, you could say Abby follows through on her promises, or she followed through on this promise. Any questions so far in the vocabulary? Number 10, Amp.
An empty promise, plans or goals that you don't or can't.
Can you repeat which one it was, Amp?
Letter A, plans or vows that you don't or can't keep.
Very good. Vows. Vows.
Yeah, vows.
Can you give me an example of what might sound like an empty promise?
When people said they're going to lose weight, then they don't do it. They are empty promises.
Exactly. There's a classic, right? I'm going to lose 10 pounds. New Year's resolution.
They gain 10 pounds.
Oh, how disappointing. Now they have 20 pounds to lose. Good example, Amp. Okay, Andre, number 11.
Displaced. I think it's pushed out of one's usual location of home.
Exactly. So can you think of a time when you have felt a little bit displaced?
I don't know. I haven't felt displaced.
I have never felt displaced.
I have never felt displaced because I moved to another city and by myself.
Mm-hmm. Good, excellent. So you did it on your own. You weren't pushed away.
Yeah.
They didn't say, Andre, get out of here.
No.
And number 11, our last one, David, could you please read it for us?
Revenue, income.
There you go. Excellent. So that is our list of words. Are there any questions or comments about those words before we continue on with our reading? Good. Okay, we've got quite a bit to read, and we're short on time. So let's go ahead and get started with Eduardo. Read number 1 for us. Hosting the world.
Okay, number 1, hosting the world. Winning a bid to host a mega sporting event should be a dream come true for any nation. In recent years, however, many candidates have been pulling out of the bidding races. Perhaps they've heard that hosting the world isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Excellent. Good reading. Fantastic pronunciation. Now, what does it mean that they're pulling out of the bidding races, and why are they doing that? Aka, what does it mean, and why are they doing it?
When pulling out of the bidding races. And perhaps they've had hosting world isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Exactly, that's what they've heard. But what does it mean, Aka? If you pull out of a bid, what does that mean?
Out of the bidding races. Maybe harsh competition? Sounds like.
Okay, it means to retract an offer. So you might have offered something, and then you decide later that you're going to pull out or take your offer back so that you're no longer offering something. Okay?
Okay.
Good understanding. Any questions on that first paragraph? Number 2, Ala.
Nations that bid to host the World Cup or the Olympic Games often make promises they can't keep. Over-promising is the key to winning any election, after all. To host the world, nations must prove they are willing to break the bank. Athens spared no expense at the 2004 Games. It also went 60% over budget.
Excellent. Good reading. Fantastic reading. Any questions on the vocabulary here? What's the problem with sometimes what happens when people host the World Cup? What?
They have to overpromise. They have to overpromise, and it will turn an empty promises at the end. They can't maybe afford it, or they will get short of money. They will expend.
Exactly. So it's like a country promises that they will go into debt if it's necessary. Ali, what do you think about that? What's your opinion? Do you think that that's something that a country should take on or would want to take on?
Yes, I think every country want to take this kind of sport events. It's like a competition between the countries, and I'm not sure they can afford all requirements about the.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, you're right. Absolutely. I think it's a sad thing. You know, it's a sporting event, and you know, with how things are, to even go into more of an expense or into a debt for games, I think is kind of sad. But that's just my personal opinion. Let's continue. Amp, would you like to read number 3 for us?
Okay. Candidates usually underestimate the cost of hosting the world. Building new venues, improving transportation routes, hiring security are just a few financial burdens. When the world goes home, jobs are lost and expensive stadiums sit empty. The new facility readily meets the nation's long-term needs. What will Brazil do with an arena in a remote part of the Amazon?
Okay, it's a good question. What is often underestimated? Good reading, by the way, Amp. Your pronunciation is spot on. Andrea, I'm going to ask you this question. What is often underestimated when events like this come into play?
They underestimate the costs of the hosting, like building venues, transportation routes, and anything in infrastructure costs and anything.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Can you guys think of anything else that maybe wasn't thought about before this event is to happen?
Yes, about to build something that is not going to be useful anymore, just for the season that it is going to have hosting the world. But after that, what is going to happen? That you need to maintain something for nothing?
Mm-hmm.
You use these things only one time, once maybe.
Absolutely. Right? And I think that's something that has actually happened in Vancouver as well. We have all of these infrastructures that perhaps are a little bit unnecessary or we don't have a lot of use for them now. Okay, let's go to our next one. Let's go to David. Would you like to read number 4 for us?
Okay. Having a post-games plan is mandatory for any host nation. Barcelona had a city plan in place before the 1992 games. Their long-term goals served local residents and attracted tourists. Vancouver took a similar approach in 2010. Or 2010. Can I say both, isn't it?
You can say 2010 or 2010.
2000, okay. Each venue was designed with the city's future in mind.
Good. Excellent. So I've been talking about Vancouver a lot. Obviously, it's come up in this topic. What do you guys think? Do you think that these mandatory, to have a plan like this would be important to decide what kind of venues would be built, not just according to the game, but according to the future? What do you guys think about that? Is it important or not? What do you think, Eduardo?
Absolutely. For example, in Barcelona, the Olympic Village were buildings, flat buildings, and the city sold the flats to people at a very low price. So all these flats were sold very quickly, and in that years, Barcelona had a new neighborhood, a new fantastic neighborhood, and now they organize many competition in the Olympic Stadium. So it was a great in Barcelona. They created a great plan for the future, and everyone in Spain say Barcelona was different after the Olympic Games.
Good. Excellent, you guys. Thank you very much for your ideas. Anyone else have a comment on that paragraph or a question perhaps on the vocabulary?
Yeah, for example, in Sochi, they where we had Winter Olympic Games, they built many stadiums, and they planned to have a winter resort. They improved the infrastructure, and now I think they attracted many tourists from over the world.
Mm-hmm. Good. Excellent comment. Okay, and we have one more paragraph. Let's read it. Who has not read and would like to have a chance to read? Who did not read and would like to read?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Ali. Could you read number 6 for us?
I think number 5, right?
Oh, yes, you're right. Number 5.
Okay. Other past hopes failed to follow through with their plans. Empty promises led to anger and frustration. In Beijing, people protested the return of the polluted skies. In Greece, the Olympics was blamed for the debt crisis. Were you surprised when displaced Brazilian told FIFA to go home?
Excellent. Very good. So here's a classic example, right, of this happening. Any questions in number 5?
No, people don't like it.
No, they don't like it. Do you guys think that's a realistic thing, that maybe it had something to do for the debt crisis in Greece, the Olympics?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
After the dream was over, they have to face the reality bites.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
and I heard in Montreal Olympic ended in debt, huge debt.
Oh, yes.
So after that, maybe Los Angeles Olympic kind of organization allow to get a sponsor. That's the origin of current very, very commercialized Olympic
Mm-hmm.
games. Yeah. Now, so but even though after that, yeah, because of the kind of underestimate of the cost, yeah, many countries, people suffers after the Olympic Games or World Cup as well, I guess.
Very true. Okay. And the last person, I realize now that there's only one person that has not read. Who is it?
I haven't.
Okay. Can you go ahead, Andrew, and read number 6 for us?
Okay. While host nations regularly report losses rather than profits, organizations like FIFA and the IO earn billions of dollars in revenue. What can these non-profit organizations do to support host nations? If they lower their golden standard, can we put the focus back on the game?
Good. Any questions on the last paragraph? Do you have any answers to those questions there about what nonprofit organizations can do to support host nations? Beautiful. You guys did an awesome job reading. We are out of time. We've spent a lot of time chatting, but I'm going to create a lesson that will deal with the issue between wish and hope, because it's a really good point and it's a mistake that's commonly made for ESL speakers. Any questions or comments before we close the class? I'm going to just stop the
Thank you.
broadcast.